Squatch Senior here, back on the Super M. Got a new day, rain has quit, not too bad outside. So first project of the day is we're going to see if we can get this front axle out from underneath this thing. Got her blocked up, got the tires off, got the Kubota out, got the forks all ready, some blocking. What we're planning on doing here is all the bolts are loose. Get everything loose underneath. We've got the steering arm coming down from the bolster that we got to clear. So the plan is we're going to come in here with the forks underneath. We're going to put some blocking up into this section, and the whole thing should be able to drop straight down and be able to pull it out. Anyway, that's the plan. We'll see what happens. Down to the last bolt, we'll see what we come up with. Okay, everything loose. We'll get her started up and start dropping and see what we come up with here. Now that the front axle has been removed, next plan of actions, we're going to take the front bolster off with the radiator as a unit. Figured that would be easier to access the bolts underneath that way. What I'll do is I'll slide her out, and then when I get her out, I'll lay her on this front edge with the radiator up. Then I can access easier the bolts on the bottom side. So anyway, that's the plan of action for now. Let's get started. Okay, first step in taking this front bolster off, I'm going to remove the steering arm. I've got 3 of the bolts out already. There is one bolt it should probably pay special attention to. You got one with a higher head on it. That acts as a stop, keeps this in a limited position so you can't oversteer it. So probably should mark that, something I didn't do, but no big deal. It's easy to figure that out. You can see the difference in the head. The one bolt only has that higher head. Okay, already extract steering bolster and radiators unit. Got the cherry picker all picked up, all hooked up and stuff. Got all the bolts out except for one on the other side. I also went and loosened this side rail. I loosened it here on the motor mount and back where it goes to the bell housing, so I could pull that out a little bit. It gives me some slack on this to slide it out. So I think we're ready to go and see what happens. So far, so good. See if we can get it on the floor without any accidents. Next order of business, now that the radiator's out of the way, I'll start taking the side channels off. I'll get one at a time. There's 4 bolts, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom to come out, which also helps hold the engine to the bell housing. And you got 2 front motor mount bolts right up front here. Take one side out. What I'll be doing, I'll probably just put 1 bolt back in just to help support the engine. Another thing I'll probably start doing is on the fan here, you've got the threaded belt adjustment on the fan blade. See if I can get that loosened up. That's a good working height. Probably a good time to get that done. Might even go into taking the water pump off, maybe getting into the front cover, get that out of the way and stuff before I take the engine out. I'll keep you updated as things go along here. If I run into any troubles, we'll let you know. Well, as you can see, side rails are off. Starting to pull the thermostat housing and the water pump off now. Actually, this thing I think has been taken apart before. As easy as this stuff has been coming apart. So anyway, it's already loose. We'll take her off. Water pump bearings, everything seemed to be pretty good shape. Don't see any wear in there, anything loose. I think we got her good to go on that. Okay, getting ready to extract the governor. Got the oil line loose up on the top of the head. There's 1 bolt that goes in from the back down here and 2 from the front. I did take the cover off just to kind of look in there before I took it apart. Should be no issues just sliding her out of the unit. Looks like I'm going to have to dig a little deeper. Probably have to get that front cover off and maybe take a gear out of the way. We'll get that later. I had been having problems with this last winter in the cold. As soon as I crank it up, was a set speed. I had no governor until the engine warmed up, so I'm assuming something in this linkage, probably dry, had some moisture or something in. We'll address that. We'll take this thing totally apart, clean her up. We'll look for loose pins, everything else in her, and fix it as needed. Okay, when all else fails, you get the manual out. This unit should actually come out of there. What I'm going to have to do is to take this plate off. I do have it started through here, so let's see what happens. There we go. That's what I figured it should do. Well, next up, we'll see if we can get this hydraulic pump off. This has stuff to do with the timing. The distributor goes here and stuff. To time this unit in there, it'll probably have to have the front cover off so you can find the marks on the gears and stuff to get that set up. Anyway, we're not going to worry about that at this time. To remove this, there's 2 bolts back in behind that are super hard to get. Anyway, what I had to do is this block bolts to the bottom. So if you remove this block, then you have access to them 2 bolts. Okay, everything is loose at this time. Let's see if it comes out easier than the other governor did. Sometimes there's a special way these got to go. Okay, no problem. Next, I'm going to get this starter out of the way. Like I said, I went through this last summer, so it's been working good. I see no sense in getting into it again. Had new parts put into it, totally trued up the armature, did everything it needed. So it did used to have the rod that comes down that you had to pull to make the contacts. I converted it over to a solenoid, so all I got to do is push the button and off you go. It's been working good. Still looks pretty nice and clean in there. Okay, I'm to the point now I'm ready to pull the engine. What I'm going to do is take the valve cover off, get the lift chains and stuff all hooked up, get ready to pull that out. I've got the starter out, everything off I want in the front. Everything else that I've got here can be done on the engine stand. So until that time, we'll see what if we can diagnose this beast. Well, ready to remove this engine. My helper just showed up here. Didn't want to do it myself today, so we'll see what we come up with. Went through the book, just verified everything should be loose that we needed, and we're going to give her a try. 3 bolts left to take out. Got one on each side here and this one here. We'll get them loosened up and see if we can wiggle this thing out of there. I'll leave them in a little bit till we get her out started.
Yeah, it's pulling away out over here already. Could probably come up with the front of the engine a little bit.
Okay, things are loosening up here already. Gonna leave a few bolts in there just to kind of hold stuff from.
There, that's pretty good. I'm going to take this one right out over here.
Yeah. All out.
Yep, everything's out. It's moving easy. I doubt we even have to try it. Let's kick the stand back a little bit.
Okay, my dowel's out.
This is out over here too. Go up a little bit.
I don't know how it's balanced.
We're clear right there. It's not hitting anything. There, no, we're free. We're clear.
Okay, let her down on the floor.
And good. Oh man, it's dirty in there. Ooh, look at this. It's an old piece of a starter nose cone.
Finding treasures.
It was sitting right there.
We have a really greasy mess in there.
Look at that.
We found a piece of a starter nose cone laying in the bottom.
Another piece of something here.
Yeah, I don't know what we got there.
Another piece of something here.
Lots of treasures in there.
And it is dirty. Wow.
And a little water laying in the bottom, and a lot of grease coming in there. Looks like we got some cleaning, all kinds of work to do in there. Anyway, that's it for day 2. We'll start next process. We'll be getting this on an engine stand, and we'll see if we can start diagnosing the engine.